Bitcoin took out the level I have been aiming for. Nasdaq is consolidating at all-time high territory. EURUSD have been correcting downwards from this supply zone I have been showing you. Hi everyone, warmly welcome to this week's market outlook. My name is Hasse. I've been trading and investing for over 8 years. This is the place where we leave out the emotions and focus on logics. We're gonna look at Bitcoin, Nasdaq, and EURUSD today, but let's start with the news calendar. And we have CPI on Tuesday and PPI on Wednesday. These are the most important news for the week, in my opinion. This is Swedish time, 2:30 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday. The CPI on Tuesday and the PPI on Wednesday. You can see here we have some red folders on Thursday too, Swedish afternoon. But from my experience, CPI and PPI are the news that creates most volatility in the markets. In terms of report, Monday, nothing special. Tuesday, well, we have some BlackRock here, you can see. I like to focus on the big tech companies, for example, Nvidia, Tesla, Microsoft. When they release the reports, it is always a lot of volatility. Thursday, you can see the reports here. Friday, nothing special this week to make me extra careful or something. I mostly focus on the red folders, CPI and PPI, as I showed you. And let's just have a look at the Fear and Greed Index. You can see we are still at greed, extreme greed territory, which is very strong from the market. And I think we will reach even higher levels here in extreme greed the time ahead, but everything is step by step. The market doesn't go up in a one green candle 20% in a day. It is step by step. We see corrections and we see impulsive moves. That's totally normal. If we check the Fear and Greed Index in crypto, we left the neutral phase and we are now in the greed area. And I think crypto will reach the extreme greed area too. When we are there, that doesn't mean that we put it in the top directly, but often when we are here in the extreme greed territory, we start consolidate or put in a top. But you see here, that was extreme greed, and we were in extreme greed territory a while before we actually put in the top. And you can see here, extreme greed there, and then we were actually going up a bit. You can see the gray chart here behind, it's the Bitcoin chart. So that's why I'm reading it like this. So I see the gray chart here. I see that when we were in extreme greed, I see Bitcoin were going up a lot, but then it was going up even more before putting in the final top and correcting down. So in this case, there is a lot more room to go up, in my opinion, in Bitcoin, and we have to respect the chart and the trend. And I will just soon look at the chart in front of you. If we check the Bitcoin liquidation index, we can see that there were a lot of liquidation in terms of shorts. Often when we see this, this can be a sign of a slowdown in the market or a pivot point in terms of a top. And the daily exchange volume just jumped up a bit above these highs here. That's really good, but we need to see even higher levels here. I wanted to go above this high in order to be really strong, because we broke below these levels and that was not good. Now I need to see that the daily exchange volume can actually break above this high in order to be in a strong position. If we check the Bitcoin chart, we were in this weekly fair value gap reacting up, and I was aiming for this black level here. And last week I told you we have a fair value gap here. As long as we don't close below it, we are in a strong position and we can aim for higher levels and my target here. Of course, there were better risk to reward from these levels up to the target than trying to take an entry here and aim for even higher levels, all right? But if we can visit a weekly fair value gap, now we don't have the weekly fair value gap yet, but when the new week's candle open, you can see that it will be created a fair value gap here. If this candle doesn't just dump down and close here, then we don't have a fair value gap. But that's not so probable. So if we visit a daily fair value gap, weekly fair value gap, or a demand zone, or if we just like take out some liquidity and then react, these are often the signatures I'm looking for in order to take an entry when I have been seeing the market go up a lot. To just go in an entry when the market just go up like this and put your stop loss here, it is quite risky in my opinion. I like to see a liquidity grab or something like that. When the market go up like this, you see a lot of liquidity is created like this. You can see a lot of liquidity. In my opinion, to be interested, I would like to see a liquidity grab like this, and then we can look for entries. Or if we can generate liquidity here and sweep out the lows and then look for entries, it doesn't matter where the signature occurs. I just want it to occur, and then I can look how the situation looks overall, etc. I'm seeing every down move in Bitcoin as an opportunity to aim for higher levels. As long as we respect the daily demand zones here, and if we don't close below daily fair value gaps and weekly fair value gaps, I am still bullish to Bitcoin and aiming for even higher levels. And we can just remove this level right now because we took it out. And yeah, that's my thoughts about Bitcoin. Let's head into Nasdaq. So Nasdaq has a weekly fair value gap here, just below this weekly candle low. We haven't visited those levels yet, and we can see we are respecting still the daily demand zones, these red candles, down moves before the up moves. And as long as we respect them, I am still bullish to this chart, and I'm not trying to catch a short to the weekly fair value gap. We can see that we went above this high, a lot of candle closes above it, which is very strong, and then we went down like this, and we are just consolidating. As long as we don't go down below this low and close a lot of candles below it, it is still in a very strong position to aim for these relatively equal highs up here. And if we close a lot of candles below this low, it just looks like a deeper correction before aiming for even higher levels. So I'm still bullish to Nasdaq, and I'm looking for even higher levels the coming period ahead. If we check EURUSD, I'm having this black line as a target, and I had this demand zone earlier. I was aiming for higher levels, and we went up beautifully. I showed you this supply zone. I told you I want to see the price be able to go above this red zone, and if we are not able to do that, then the probabilities are higher to go down to even lower levels. You can have that in mind, that we have been correcting from this red supply zone. In the weekly chart, we are now in a weekly fair value gap, which can create a reaction to even higher levels. It is important to keep in mind that only because we are in a weekly fair value gap, that doesn't mean that we need to go up directly. We need to see that this bearish order flow gets disrespected, and right now we are respecting it. This is a supply zone, this red candle up before a down move. If we can go above this high, that is the first sign of strength to aim for even higher levels. So that are my general inputs about EURUSD, and of course I'm updating you regarding short-term moves in the markets, in the community. If you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Bye.